This is Religion in the News, sponsored by Wish TV, in cooperation with the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
Good morning, I'm J.R. Ryder. Thanks for joining us today for Religion in the News. Also joining me today is Reggie Barney, Kiara Davis, and Gabrielle Campo. Our guests talk about a youth-oriented resource, music as ministry, and a monumental bishop ordination. Stay tuned. Good morning again. Religion in the News celebrates Black History Month by honoring African Americans who have made a difference in our societies and our communities. From the well-known to the unknown, African American contributions have helped to make our country into what it is today. George Washington Carver, who is known for inventing over 100 products from the peanut, including plastic and paint. Jackie Robinson, who led the way for blacks to play in Major League Baseball. Many of you know Rosa Parks. She stood up for her right to be treated like a citizen. Martin Luther King Jr., who had a dream of equality for everyone. Oprah Winfrey, who touched the hearts of millions through her journalistic work. The king of pop, Michael Jackson, who may go down in history as the greatest entertainer of all time. And we can't forget the accomplishments of Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the United States of America. On the local front, we salute Community Director Tina Cosby of Wish TV 8, Angelique Walker-Smith, Executive Director of the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis, businessman and philanthropist Bill Mays of Mays Chemical, Tanya Bell, President of the Indianapolis Back Expo, and Dr. and Bishop Leonard Scott of Ty Scott Records, Super Bowl champion head coach Tony Dungy, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts. On behalf of the Religion in the News staff, the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis, we give a special thank you to all of the African Americans who have persevered, sacrificed, and encouraged change in our society.
Good morning and welcome to Religion in the News. I'm Gabrielle Campo, and today I have the honor of welcoming Christopher Coyne, who will be ordained as Auxiliary Bishop for the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. Bishop Coyne, welcome to Religion in the News and Indianapolis.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Very nice. I know that you just arrived into the Indianapolis community. So would you share with the audience a little bit about who you are and your life back in Boston before you came here?
Well, for the past 4.5 years, I've been a pastor in a suburban parish just outside of Boston. Prior to that, I had been involved in the Archdiocese as the Director of Worship and the Cabinet Secretary and Communications Director, spokesperson for the Archdiocese. I was a seminary professor of liturgy and homiletics for 14 years, and I've been ordained a priest now. This is my 25th year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's wonderful. What was it like to receive a call that said that you were going to be ordained a bishop and you're going to be moving to Indianapolis?
Yeah, it was the Monday before Christmas, and I was just, it was a busy day. I just celebrated with a family a funeral for one of their loved ones, and I had walked into the office getting ready to go out to one of the local Catholic high schools and hear confessions. And my phone rang, and it was a Washington number on the caller ID, so I picked it up, and I got the call from the nuncio. And when the conversation progressed, I was stunned, and then I kind of laughingly say I was appalled that they would ask me to be a bishop. But I was given a few days to think it over and talk to my spiritual director. And the hardest thing was not just the fact that you're just stunned by something like this. Yeah. You don't run for office in the church, and to be called like that is just a humbling thing, and to wonder whether you could do it and do it well. But then also, to move from Boston to Indianapolis, this is rather rare. Yeah. That an auxiliary does that, and to leave my family, especially my parents. They're both in their 80s and still in good health, thank God, but it was tough. But I've got other siblings, 5 other siblings who live in the area, and they can take care of Mom and Dad as well, and I'll try to get home as much as I can.
That's nice. I know you'll probably be getting home to see the Patriots, because I hear that you're a fan.
I am a fan, but I promise Indianapolis I'll hold the Colts close to my heart too, except when they're playing my Patriots.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. Well, I know your role as an auxiliary bishop is new, and it's going to be historic for the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. And it hasn't happened since 1933. Mm-hmm. So can you share with the audience a little bit about an auxiliary bishop's position?
Sure. He's an assistant to the bishop, and the bishop can choose to use him in any wide varieties of ways. He can simply, in many instances on the larger diocese, it's more about going out to the parishes on behalf of the bishop and being at places that he can't be there because of his schedule. So auxiliaries in some of the larger dioceses would go out and do many of the confirmations, and he'd go out to, you know, the various public events, churches having an anniversary, or there's a significant event happening within a parish, and if the bishop can't be there because of his schedule and can't be everywhere, the auxiliary will do that.
Wow.
But here in Indianapolis, Archbishop Beekline has chosen to make me the second in the diocese, and to participate with him in governance. But you know, I came here mainly because he's 72 now, and he's had a lot of health issues. Thank God they've been taken care of. It's really kind of worn him down, and so I'm going to go out and be kind of like the public face on his behalf.
That's wonderful. I know firsthand that the Archbishop has been active in the young adult community, and is that something that you'll probably take on?
Yeah, it's something I'm very excited about, especially since I'm living at St. John the Evangelist right downtown, which has a very fine young adult outreach on Sunday evenings at 7 o'clock. There's a mass for young adults in the area. The pastor, the administrator there, Rick Nagel, is very active with the local college community and working in chaplaincy there. He's already beginning to say, when can you sign up to say a mass, and can you come to the, and I'm saying, sure, let's just, you know, as my schedule allows, I'd be glad to do that. And I'm already kind of jumping in and helping him on Sunday masses there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I know you jumped in because I think you just arrived on Wednesday to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
so
just this week.
you really have filled your agenda so quickly. And I know your ordination is on Wednesday.
Wednesday, March 2nd, 2 o'clock, and all are welcome.
All are welcome. And it's at St. John the Evangelist.
Yeah, it's a church that's a little bit bigger than the cathedral, and so it's an historic church too. So it's kind of an historic moment.
That's wonderful. And some of the attendees will be the Archbishop.
Archbishop and a number of bishops from around the country. Cardinal O'Malley, my former bishop from Boston, is coming. Well, I'm more excited about the fact that most of my family is able to come.
That's wonderful.
I've discovered a lot of second cousins and third cousins who are coming.
That's fantastic that they support you. And we're so honored that you're here, and we look forward to celebrating your ordination on Wednesday. And I know that if the church is filled, they can go to the convention center. Is that correct?
There's, still have screens set up right across the street for people who aren't able to get into the church to at least be able to watch on television.
That's wonderful. And then following the ordination, you'll begin your duties here as second in command. But also, I think you have a blog. Are you going to continue that blog?
Yes, in fact, that used to be called Thoughts of a Catholic Priest. It's now called Thoughts of a Catholic Bishop.
That's fantastic. So it's Thoughts of a Catholic Bishop if somebody wants to follow you.
It's Together in Faith.
Together in Faith. That's wonderful. Well, Bishop-elect Coyne, thank you so much for joining us on Religion in the News, and maybe we'll have you back in a year so you can see how Indianapolis is and if we've changed your mind to become more of a Colts fan.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Thank you very much. Reggie, now back to you.
Thanks, Gabrielle. And coming up next, my guests talk about using youth as a resource right after this. And welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is Annie Smith of the United Way of Indianapolis, and she's here to talk about the YAR program. And I'm going to let you talk about the YAR program. Good morning.
Good morning,
How
Reggie.
are you this morning?
Terrific,
Great.
thank you.
You know what? We talked about youth when we were sitting prior to coming onto the program, and I thought your passion for youth and what you do is just commendable. And I just want to thank you for what you do and your passion for youth. So let's talk about what you do with the United Way and talk about what YAR stands for.
Okay, YAR is Youth as Resources, and we are a program of the United Way of Central Indiana, and that mission is addressing today's needs, reducing tomorrow's, but we are a youth development and funding program. We provide small grants to youth groups who look at needs in the community, and then the young people design and implement community service projects around those needs. So they can apply for up to approximately $5,000, and they use those funds to purchase materials and supplies, help with transportation costs to and from a project site, and we want them to celebrate their accomplishments once they're done.
No, and you talked about it. This is done through various churches, or is this just as a whole?
No, we provide grants to youth groups through their faith-based organization, through schools, through neighborhood and community centers, anywhere where there's a group of young people. And they don't necessarily have to be tied to any of those entities. They could just be a group of young people in the neighborhood, and all of the projects do have to have a not-for-profit sponsor, but we can help them to identify one. We just want the kids to have a passion for wanting to do something to give back to the community, and they're doing that.
And let's talk about some of those projects, because you were saying you had some success stories, and I really like that when you can get a group of youth to kind of come up with their own mind and do own projects their own that are facilitated by adults, but they actually, like you said, they become more creative with these programs, and I think that's what we need.
Yeah, we do. We don't want to fund projects that are by adults for youth. We really want to look at projects that are by young people for the community. So the young people do like a mini needs assessment of the community. What's going on? What are some of the issues that they want to address? And then they design and implement a project around that. So oftentimes they're very passionate about, for example, reading. A group of 6th graders, they might want to read to 1st graders. And I'm thinking particularly of some kids at Harrison Hill Elementary, where they came before a committee of our board, because our board does make the funding decisions. And they said, you know, we really want to help the 1st graders because they need help with reading, but we also need help with our reading. So we think that we can help them and help ourselves at the same time by tutoring them in reading.
And I like that you said that and they learn from one another. And of course, you know, as I know, where do young people learn most? They learn from one another. And I like that. And I do like the fact that you said by these 6th graders teaching the 1st graders, they were able to get involved in their reading, and they launched their reading to another level. Is that what I hear you saying?
Exactly.
So it all kind of works together, right?
Right.
All these programs?
Yeah, and we have, you know, 2 grant cycles a year, so our next cycle will be approaching in August. We do have kids that are through their schools, and also special initiatives, young people who are part of the juvenile justice system, as well as kids who may be in foster care system. The one common denominator is that all of these young people have a desire and a passion to give back.
Wow.
So yes, we support them through the grants, and our board is comprised of youth and adults who make those grant decisions. So the young people are also learning as they're serving on our boards. And it's really interesting because I see young people who were as teens in high school on our board helping to make those grant decisions. They go on to college, they graduate, they come back to the community as full-fledged adults, and they still come back and serve.
Wow, so they're giving back.
Yes.
You know, so they're passing it back, they're passing it along. Now, talk to me about how volunteers can get involved. I mean, how's that work?
Well, they need to, if they can get on our website, and we have, they can go to our website, and
I think we have that website, we can bring that up.
Bring that up, and they can contact us, and then we will send them the information on how to get involved and how to apply for the grants. And we also do provide training.
Okay, so you do provide training, so all they need to do is get that contact information that just was on the screen. They can call you, that number, and they could really get involved more in this program and get a grant.
Yes, get money. Yeah.
Get money to
you don't have to do the traditional bake sales, and this is a great learning process.
It is, and for $5,000, who would not want that to get involved? Well, you know, I really appreciate you coming on our program and letting the community know about this information. I'm quite sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reggie.
All right, Kiara?
My guests talk about his music ministry and as the oldest minority gospel record label in the country when Religion in the News returns.